Puts the ball over, chance here. It's a goal! Chievo have done it! It's a hat-trick for Pellisier. Is that the title dream dead and buried for Juventus?
This goal was scored by Chievo Verona legend Sergio Pellisier in a 3-3 draw to title challengers Juve in 2009, where he bagged a hat-trick, sinking Juve's hopes for Serie A glory.
In such a superficial world, where wealth and status are valued above all else, loyalty is becoming an abstract term.
Maldini, Zanetti, Totti, Neville. The one club men who are most respected in the world have still made truckloads of money and have performed at the highest level, earning Hall of Fame status.
Some of these heroes, however, remain unsung.
Sergio Pellisier, bro, versatile forward who could play in pretty much any position along the forward line. Typically performed better when he was paired alongside a more physically gifted striker, I would say.
Yeah.
He was quick, he excelled at link-up play. He was often deployed as an inverted winger and he liked cutting in and shooting with his favourite left foot, and despite being 5'9", his elevation was impressive, as was his heading accuracy.
Once again, I could make another 5'9" joke, but I will refrain, brother.
Nice.
Pellisier started his career with Torino, bro, as I'm sure you know. He climbed the youth ranks to the senior team. He actually left Torino in 2000 after only one senior appearance. He spent 2 years at Varese, where he played 53 games and scored 9 goals. He was then picked up by Chievo, and of course the rest is history.
496 games, 134 goals in 19 years, with the number 31 on his back the entire time. I would say that's a true metaphor for how humble the man was.
Yeah, he was a true leader on and off the pitch, a perfect, exemplary gentleman. He was around during Chievo's best years. He remained faithful during their darker moments, like the relegation to Serie B, and was of course present during their tenure in the Champions League and the Europa League.
Exactly, and despite the relegation, he is still currently the club's all-time leading top scorer in official competitions, as well as being the club's record appearance holder. And that record doesn't seem to be going anywhere, particularly because of Chievo's liquidation. It did go on to retire in the 2018-2019 season.
He was so attached to Chievo, bro, that he actually said in an interview once that when someone offends Chievo, it feels like they're offending him personally. And that bond rang truer than ever, as merely 2 years after Pellisier retired from football, Chievo, as you mentioned, were liquidated and in fact no longer exist. Despite Pellisier's active efforts to keep the club alive and afloat, of course, this happened as the club was unable to prove that it is financially valid due to outstanding tax payments.
Yeah, and after spearheading an unsuccessful search for new owners, Pellisier decided instead to fund a new club himself, which was admitted to Terza Categoria at the very bottom of the Italian Football League system. The club originally was named FC Chievo 2021, but was then renamed to FC Clivenze after a legal warning from Chievo Verona, his beloved Chievo Verona.
All he did for them, the audacity, bro. They should have built him a statue and shut the fuck up, am I right?
No wonder they're fucking liquidated, the fucking cunts.
The only trophy Pellisier has to his name is the Serie B title won in 2007-2008. He, of course, as we mentioned previously, played in the Europa League and in the Champions League with Chievo. He played in the Champions League after the Calciopoli scandal, so Juve, Lazio and Fiorentina banned from Europe that year, and of course Chievo achieved automatic qualification. He has one game for the Italian national team, bro, and in that game he actually scored.
I wonder why he didn't get called up again.
Same here, bro. You remember him playing, don't you?
Yeah, quite clearly. I mean, like we said, he retired in around 2019, and Chievo, I believe, were very recently in Serie A. I believe Pellisier even played against Ronaldo.
He did, yes. I believe it was Ronaldo's first game.
Exactly.
Against Chievo. There was Sorrentino goal.
Yeah, and I think Ronaldo had scored in the last minute or some shit in that game.
No, he hadn't scored. In fact, he hadn't scored on his debut. He hadn't scored in the first 4 games, I believe, for Juve.
Okay.
But anyway, I remember him so clearly, always scoring against Juve, bro, this guy. I don't know what it was, but he would always score against them.
I mean, even in the intro that we provided, a hat-trick against Juve with Chievo is no fucking easy feat whatsoever,
Definitely not. And you know what I liked about him most, bro, apart from, of course, his leadership qualities is the fact that he was so industrious, he was so hardworking, and he would contribute defensively even in his later years. He was so humble that he would work for the team. He didn't give a fuck. He had no pride about him whatsoever.
Yeah, even like you said, in his later years, even when he was coming off the bench, normally people would take a step into a different direction, maybe go to a smaller team or maybe go to a rival team. The man just stayed at Chievo for 19 whole years, man, and you barely see that nowadays, and it's quite recent and it's barely spoken about, man.
For sure, bro. Di Natale, for example, is another cult hero who is highly valued and highly talked about, but this guy just flies under the radar completely.
He does, man, but not on Serie A Spotlight. We're here to bring you all the hipster bullshit that you might have not heard anywhere else.
That's right, our hipster brothers and sisters. You can unbutton your flannel shirts, untie your top knots, sit back and enjoy. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Serie A Spotlight. We're your hosts Jake
and Matt.
And this is episode 39.
39, huh?